Hello and welcome to this National Highways video podcast series where we introduce our new immediate post-collision response training modules for professional drivers. Now, what happens in the minutes after a collision can of course make the difference between life and death. These modules give drivers a basic understanding of the proactive steps they can take to help at the scene of an incident. The training is split into three parts. Firstly, making the perfect 999 call. Secondly, making people safe at the scene of an incident where there is someone suffering trauma. And thirdly, trauma-related first aid. Well, in this episode, we'll outline what the course covers and hear about how these steps can save lives. We'll also explore why the training has been introduced and the role professional drivers can play.
In 2024, 1,931 people were killed or seriously injured on England's motorways and major A roads. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, even the most sophisticated emergency care system is ineffective if bystanders fail to recognise a serious injury or do not know how to call for help. The WHO also highlights the critical role bystanders can play in improving the outcome for casualties by delivering first aid before emergency services arrive. National Highways' three-part training programme aims to give professional drivers the practical knowledge and confidence to help save lives. I'm joined today by Mark Cartwright, Head of Commercial Vehicle Incident Prevention at National Highways, and Dr Tim Nuttbeam, Consultant in Emergency Medicine at the University Hospitals, Plymouth. Tim, Mark, a very good day to you. Thank you so much for being with us here. It is an important subject, I know, that we are covering today. But can I start with you first, if I may please, Mark? Why is National Highways introducing these courses now?
Safety is and always will be our number one priority out on our roads, and it's worth saying right at the start of this, our roads are some of the safest in the world. However, we can always do better, and we follow the safe system approach to road safety. One of the pillars of the safe system is around post-collision trauma response, and that's something we're trying to improve across certainly the commercial fleet operators that we're engaged with for our Driving for Better business programme. And it's a really simple, straightforward proposition, really. By giving drivers the right kind of skills, right kind of information, they could make a real difference. There's all kinds of estimates about how many lives could be saved, but probably somewhere in the region of 50% of the pre-hospital deaths at the scene of a crash could perhaps be mitigated by some form of bystander approach and timely bystander support there. And that's why we've created free training modules. We've worked very hard with people like Professor Tim Nuttbeam to try and make sure we're getting the messaging right, and also fleets to make sure we're delivering it in the right kind of way. And together we've just designed some really practical, simple guidance that hopefully will save lives.
So Mark, you mentioned the training, obviously. What do the modules cover?
Yeah, we've created three modules. The first one is, maybe you could argue, the most important, but it's making the perfect 999 call. So get the location, know where you are, describe what's in front of you so the right equipment can be deployed, the right specialists can be deployed. And one of the things that we're always very, very keen to get across is make the call. Don't assume somebody else has done it. So be calm, be collected, explain to the call handler where you are, what's going on, and as I say, make the call. The second module is if people are staying around at the scene, and I've got to be very, very clear on this, we're not trying to encourage, coerce people to do anything they wouldn't ordinarily feel inclined to do. We're just trying to give them better tools and better knowledge to do it more efficiently and, importantly, more safely. So if somebody is hanging around the scene, first priority is their safety, but then we'll give them some guidance as to how to position their vehicle or vehicles to protect the scene, protect themselves, not get in the way of other road users, and allow access to the blue light. So there's a whole piece there about scene management, which is really important. The third module is around first aid. It's the bit that seems to be getting most people's attention at the moment. Basic triage, account for everybody at the scene. Has anybody wandered off? Has anybody been flown from the vehicle? Is all important information for when the blue light services get there. And working with Tim, we've identified that there are three main areas where we would like passersby, bystanders to have a degree of confidence, which is around CPR, it's around bleed control, and clearing airways. Those three interventions alone could probably save quite a few lives at the side of the road.
Thanks very much, Mark. Tim, so with your experience, you know better than most how vital those first 8 minutes are after an incident. Is this period what you described as the window of opportunity?
Yes, so I think it's a window of opportunity not just to improve our survival rates, but also to improve the quality of survival for those with major injuries. We have this concept called the road injury chain of survival, which is a series of actions that, if we get it right from the start, makes a real difference to patients' outcomes. And once again, that's not just a difference between life and death, but it's the quality of survival, both from a physical injury perspective and a psychological injury perspective for those that do make it. And that starts with early recognition and call for help. So we want everyone to feel empowered to how to make the perfect 999 call, how to get that information across, how to start the road injury chain of survival effectively. And then it works through early rescue, early initial care, which Mark was just referring to, some actions which can make a difference, can improve survivability. And then the stuff that Mark alludes to, where pick up from an emergency medicine systems response, where a paramedic will stabilise the patient and then get them to the right hospital the first time.
Talking about making the perfect 999 call, though, Tim, and Mark said, people assume other people have made it. It is very important, isn't it, of knowing how to make what we would consider, a normal thing, a 999 call. It's actually getting the right information across, isn't it?
Yes, it's really important to get that information across, whether that be the number of casualties involved, a description of the scene, an exact idea of where you are. And all of those things help us get the right care to the right people as soon as possible.
Mark, so clearly National Highways is striving to make a difference by producing these type of trainings for professional drivers. How would you encourage people to take part?
Our ambitions for this project are massive. We would like anybody that wants to be part of the programme to be part of it. We're working very closely with employers to pass the messages through to their at-work drivers, regardless of the type of vehicle that they're driving. Hopefully we can make a bit of a difference with this.
And it is about getting everybody on board, isn't it? And recognising, and from the employer right down to the driver, everybody, all road users, isn't it really, Mark?
Oh, absolutely. And we see instances practically every day where bystanders are getting involved. We're just trying to give people a little bit more confidence, a little bit more knowledge to actually do what they're doing.
Tim, what would you say is the most important thing a driver can do to help emergency services?
I think the most important thing to do is to make sure that you yourself are safe and that your vehicle is safe. We don't want an additional injured person, and stopping safely, ensuring you're visible, ensuring you can approach a scene safely, and ensuring the scene is safe are all really, really important actions. Following that, it's kick-starting the road injury chain of survival. So that's making that 999 call. As Mark said, we can't rely on other people to make it. Please do make it. If there's any ambiguity at all, make that 999 call and start the road injury chain of survival. There are some other simple things that can be done as well. So we know that being kind makes a difference to someone's psychological outcome. We know keeping them protected makes a big difference, not just to their warmth or protection from the sun, but also to how the blood clots and all sorts of complicated mechanisms which occur in the body. And then, of course, there's rescuing people or trying to move people to a place of safety if it's safe to do so. And then finally, there's the initial care aspect. So some elements of care which might not be for everyone, as Mark alluded to, but we want people to feel empowered and enabled to do that if that's something they can support. But keep yourself safe, make that perfect 999 call, be kind, environmental protection, and then if you feel that you can, help with some of these first aid type measures that we discuss in Module 3.
Mark, so if a driver is trained, should they stop?
We would say it's their call. We're very clear that we're not trying to coerce or force people to get involved. We're looking for the people whose own inclination is to do so and to give them better equipment. But to echo Tim's thoughts, the number one rule is safety. Make sure you're safe, make sure the people around you are safe. But if you feel that you're able to get involved, fantastic.
Tim, before we wrap up, then, any final thoughts that you'd like to include?
From our research and the research of others, one of the key things that people want is they want to feel empowered and enabled. People aren't stopping and not helping or not making that call because they don't want to or because they're not kind, caring people. They're doing it because they assume that it's already been done or because they don't feel empowered, enabled and supported to help at the roadside. And that's the purpose of these modules, is so that people can access them if they want to. They can access them frequently and regularly. And we know that training helps with enablement, helps with empowerment. And we hope that that is a sequence of taking part in these modules, that there's more people out there who feel happy to help and supported in helping.
Thank you, Tim. Where can we find out more about your work?
So I work for a centre called Impact, which is a centre which focuses on research, particularly around the road injury chain of survival and how we can do better. And you can visit our website at www.post-collision.com.
Thanks very much, Tim. So, Mark, if you had to boil the training down to a few simple takeaways, what would you want people to remember?
I think we can refer back to the 3 modules, Julie. Is number 1, your call can save lives. Don't assume somebody else has made it. Call it in, be calm, explain what you can see in front of you, know where you are. Secondly, your safety always comes first. So make sure you're looking after yourself and you're protecting the scene and yourself if you stop at the scene. And finally, just know that your actions can actually make a difference. So we've said right at the beginning, an awful lot of people die at the scene of crashes because they weren't getting help and support before the emergency services arrived. So you really can make a difference.
Thank you. And if people want to learn more about the actual collision, the post-collision response training and the modules themselves, where should they go?
Well, first of all, keep an eye on our Driving for Better Business website and our socials that are attached to that. But also, if you want to know directly, drop me an email to incidentprevention@nationalhighways.co.uk.
Tim Nuttbeam, Mark Cartwright, thank you very much for your time.
Many thanks for watching this National Highways video podcast, and we hope you found it both interesting and useful.